The Columbia Lions have an early class today, a morning test against Providence. It's Education Day. Young scholars around the Columbia community with a front row seat. It's college basketball, and it's right here on SNY. Hello, everyone. So glad you could join us alongside Doug Feinberg. I'm Lance Meadow. Education Day, an annual party for the Columbia Athletic Program. Unfortunately, they have not had it since 2019, but the students are on hand for the first time since before the pandemic, and Columbia looks to continue its home cooking. They play teams like Duke as well as Seton Hall. Today, they welcome in Providence.
Yeah, they've done really well the last couple years at home, going 16-3. But the only loss is coming to Duke this year, Vanderbilt last year, and Princeton. So they take care of business at home when they have the opportunity.
And somebody who piggybacks off of that emphasis is Kitty Henderson. Columbia's backcourt has been that much more dangerous this season, Doug, because she's not just a facilitator, she's an aggressive scorer this year.
Yeah, she's done a tremendous job hitting shots from the outside and also using shots inside off drives. Just some of the numbers that she had this year, improvement from last year, gone up from 9.3 points a game up to 14.7, shooting 54.7% from the field. The biggest improvement, though, is behind the three-point arc, shooting 45% from three as opposed to 28% last year.
That's why she's number 2 in scoring, right behind Abby Shue. Now, the leader in terms of all the notable categories for Providence is Olivia Olson. The junior has done a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, the 6'3" forward has really done everything for the Friars this year. She's averaging 15 points a game, leads the Big East, which is one of the best conferences in women's basketball, in field goal percentage at 67%, and also in blocks. And right now she's actually 11th in the country in field goal percentage, so the Lions have to do a good job containing her inside today.
As we inch closer to tip-off here inside Levy Gymnasium, let's take a look at the starting five for Providence. Marta Morales-Romero leads the team in three-point field goal percentage at 41. She'll be looking to make up for the loss of Gracie Fosa, their second leading scorer, out again due to injury. And Columbia's starting five, Cecilia Collins. What a smooth transition. The transfer from Bucknell has scored in double figures 3 of the last 4 games. It's the Lions in their home white, Providence in their road black. It'll be Olivia Olson and Perry Page at center court for the opening tip. The officials, Brandon Appel, Scott Perkins, and Michelle Liu. And we are underway here in a jam-packed Levy Gymnasium.
Lance, I love the energy in this place. The kids there are great. You have 3,000 screaming kids. It just brings a wonderful energy to the gym.
And that'll raise the volume. Abby Shue on point from downtown.
Picking up where she left off last game, just hitting threes across the 300 career milestone last game. Now she's adding it and approaching that 377, the Ivy League record for men's basketball.
She had 6 trays in the win over Northeastern on Saturday, and Providence's leading scorer, Olson, answers the call.
That's going to be a problem for the Lions. They need to have a way to stop the interior play of Providence. Coach Bath said to us yesterday, make it simple, make it easy, and that was an easy lay-in for Olson.
Erin Bath also emphasized that Columbia has not seen perhaps as much size as Providence has presented, even though Columbia did play Georgia and Florida in the Bahamas recently, as Abby Shue off the mark from long range.
Yeah, and they also played Duke, which had a 6'6" and 6'5" front line. So they have seen some size before, but Olson is going to be a problem for them this afternoon.
Especially since she contributes in so many different statistical categories. Here's Archibald down the right side of the lane and gets the step on Shue as Providence moves in front.
There's going to be a concerted effort to go inside today for Providence. And that's going to be the thing. If they can protect the basketball and pound it inside, they could have a really good late morning, early afternoon.
Yeah, they had 26 turnovers in the loss at Penn State last weekend as Cecilia Collins gets Columbia's second try.
Just another good look from outside, gives the Lions the lead back. Just inside for the Friars, outside for the Lions. See who really gets their game going.
Opposite ends of the spectrum on display here in New York City. Second matchup for Columbia against a Big East team. Second matchup for Providence against an Ivy League team as they lost to Brown earlier this season. They get it inside again to Olson. Cannot finish with the left hand. Columbia looking to push off the miss. Page spots up her teammate. And unable to get the roll is Fliss Henderson. Here's Page off the miss. And the second chance opportunity won't go. So Providence gets a defensive stop. Flyers have knocked down 2 of their first 3 field goal attempts. Also a big reason why. They're working around the perimeter. Morales Romero would down the shot clock. Into Olsen. Page knocked it away, and here comes Shu in transition. It's a 3-on-2. Fliss thought about it, and that hesitation leads to a turnover.
Lance, turnovers is going to be important today. The last game when Providence played Penn State, they had a 20-9 deficit in the first quarter early on, and 20 of those points came off turnovers. So the Lions had their first opportunity there, traveled themselves to their own turnover, but that's going to be another key as far as protecting the basketball for Providence, and if Columbia can take advantage of miscues by the Friars.
Providence is averaging 21 turnovers a game. That is dead last in the Big East, and Eric Beckett emphasized it was a mixed dog. It was unforced and forced errors.
And we always talk about good and bad turnovers. A live ball turnover is not good. A dead ball turnover that the Lions just had is not so bad.
Farrell misfires on the jumper, and the Lions off a miss quickly. Heading back into the front court. Collins already has a 3 in this game. Kicks it out to Kitty. Kitty trying to create her own shot off the handoff to Collins, the runner. And Cecilia Collins has 5 of Columbia's 8.
Another good start for Collins, inside and out that time, getting into the lane, a little teardrop over the bigs of Providence.
It is amazing how comfortable she is with her new teammates, and Olsen gets the feed inside to add to her tally. She's got 4.
A nice pass inside for another easy lane. The Lions need to do a little better job of contesting the post play.
Providence has assisted on all 3 of its made field goals. Kitty with the scoop. Fliss, her sister, with the rebound, and Columbia's back in business. Abby Shu on the attack, leaves it for Page. Pretty basketball underneath for the Columbia Lions.
Really nice dish there from Shu for the easy deuce.
Mary Page has been a lightning bolt off the bench, as well as she's in the starting 5 as Abby Shu drives to the lane off the steal, and she is going to earn a trip to the charity stripe.
Lance App did a nice job there of picking the pocket and getting the steal at half court going in. Couldn't get a chance for the three-point play, but just does a nice job reaching in there and not fouling, and then pushing the ball out and attacking the basket and drawing the foul herself, and just couldn't get the layup to go. But chance for 2 free throws here to extend the Lions' lead.
Foul goes against Kendall Eddy, her first, and Abby Shu cashes in on the first. She comes in 67% from the line. Off to a roaring start, both literally and figuratively speaking. 20-plus points in 5 of the last 7 games.
You know, she missed the second one there. That's one of the numbers. If she really wants to play at the next level, she's got to get up a little bit higher than 67%. For as good as shooter she is from the outside, from 3, she's got to get a little bit better from the free throw line.
It's amazing. The more difficult shots are easier than the closer ones. As Providence try to cut into this deficit. Olsen muscling her way inside. Count it. Plus the foul. That was some maneuver around the interior of the Columbia D.
Yeah, just again, using her size inside, getting good position in the post there on Lauder, and just turning nice to the left side and going up and in and getting the foul. Lauder really had no choice there, but to try to get the charge, but it just wasn't there.
Lauder with her first, the team's first. Olsen, 82% at the line this season, and she doesn't show up. It stays a 3-point game. Nicole Stevens now in for Columbia. She will slow things down with the handoff to Shu. Lauder trying to reset. Shu has no room in the corner. Down low to Kitty. 8 on the shot clock for Columbia. Shu through the heart of the Providence D. Lauder there on the offensive glass. And Collins is going to save it, but it's a shot clock violation, and it will head back to Providence. Great hustle, but unfortunately, it doesn't pay off, and with that, we'll have a stoppage of play. As Columbia spreading the wealth, Abby Shu finding her teammate Perry Page, a 3-point lead for the Lions.
Half. 1 and 2. 2 and 4. Half of Black Americans don't have enough savings to retire. So let's retire inequality. Let's step forward together and let's rise. together, because dignity, security, retirement is for all.
Life can be complicated, but the way we treat people, not complicated at all. Our teammates and our classmates, our neighbors and complete strangers, the ones that look like us and the ones that don't, people that we agree with, and the ones we agree to disagree. How we respect one another and embrace our differences. How we treat one another. There is no in-between or other side. Listen to each other. Learn from each other. Act when you see what you don't believe. Expect equality. Life can be complicated. This part is not.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way guaranteed at Ticketsmarter.com.
Rory LeValiant may be the most popular figure here inside Levian Gymnasium, but perhaps a close second to Doug Feinberg. We know the students came out, Doug, mainly to see you.
You know, I'd put Rory number 1 today, Abby Shue number 2. I'm way down that list, but it's great to see the interaction between Rory and the fans today.
And it has been some atmosphere in the early goings with Columbia up by 3, Providence basketball. As Morales Romero handling point guard duties, giving it up to Lauren Edwards, who was a grad assistant who was just cleared by compliance to actually return to action because she still had a year of eligibility left due to COVID.
Lance, what a great story. She was a grad assistant for them last year. She's a grad assistant to start this year. And then all of a sudden, she's a player again. She played in college for us at Loyola, Maryland, and just had a great career and wanted to transition to become a coach, and now back playing again. So they wanted to get a little more, Coach Bath thought just a little more leadership, as obviously a fifth-year player can provide. So that's what she brings to the Friars right now, and she might get some meaningful minutes over the course of the rest of the season to help sort of give some stability at the point.
Lauder fouled Olsen. That's number 2 on Lauder, as Olsen will now head back to the line. She is 0 for 1. Gets the roll there. So Olivia Olsen now is responsible for 7 of Providence's 9, and Doug, all of them have come to the pin.
Yeah, I mean, there's a concerted effort to get the ball inside to Olsen, thinking that's an advantage that the Friars have over the Lions. And so far it's worked. She's got 10 points, as you said, inside the paint or from the free throw line.
Providence shooting 67% from the field. Columbia at 44. Abby Shue with a few jabs, the contested jumper, and she gets it to go.
Just another great play, showing her versatility, 3 mid-range and layups.
So Abby Shue with 6 to lead the way for Columbia. She and Collins have combined for 11 of their 13. The pull-up jumper off the mark. Olsen there to clean it up. And Olivia Olsen having a field day on Education Day. So she is now in double figures for the 6th time in the first 7 games.
She's taking the Lions to school inside right now and just being an array of post moves to cause trouble for Columbia.
The puns are running wild here in NYC. Stevens across the baseline in the corner to Collins. And Cecilia Collins continues the hot hand as she drops in another tray. She's got 8.
Lions with 3 3-pointers on the game. Threes are worth more than 2, but they have to make Providence have tougher twos because they keep catching inside with Olsen for lay-ins. That's not going to be a good afternoon for Columbia.
Well, they're averaging 9 main threes per game. That's first in the Ivy League. It's an offensive foul. Gives it back to Columbia.
Tempo, I think, favors the Lions. Coach Bath was telling us yesterday she wants to keep the defense as one of their staples, keep the score a little bit lower as we're about 3 minutes left in the first quarter. 16-12, Columbia. That's probably a little bit faster pace than Providence is looking for.
Well, Erin Bath was quoted as telling us, "I'm a defensive woman," end quote, and she wants her team to feed off of that intensity. And they have held 3 opponents under 50 points this season. As Columbia now trying to solve this half-court defensive set. Kitty leaves it for Shu. And now Fliss Henderson takes over. Sealed off by Morales Romero. Shu's got 5 on the shot clock. Backing up. The jumper. Tapped out. Kitty saves it. And it goes into the wrong hands as here comes Providence on the attack.
Lance, to further your point, Coach Bath, a first-time head coach here, wants to establish her identity, as we see a 3 there by the Friars, and defense has been one of the staples in her tenure at Providence.
Kendall Eddy coming through with Providence's first trifecta, the freshman out of Massachusetts, shooting just 14% from downtown. Here's Perry Page, leans in, awkwardly, loose ball, it's a scramble, we're going to get a jump ball, and the possession arrow will head the opposite way.
Yeah, it's important to establish your culture. We saw the other day with Northeastern, with their first-time head coach, now with Coach Erin Bath for Providence. Establish your culture. Establish what you're going to try to have your philosophy be on the offensive and defensive end going forward.
Riley Weiss in for the first time for Columbia. Abby Shu takes a seat. Weiss only played 5 minutes against Northeastern on Saturday. The runner is unsuccessful there for Morales Romero. Page quickly back the other way. She somehow gets the shot up, and we're going to get a blocking foul against Providence as it goes against Farrell.
Just a nice job attacking off the rebound there and having numbers advantage by Page, going right at the basket and getting the shot up somehow. Almost goes down, but instead gets 2 free throws for the effort.
And it's important to note they changed the rule this year in women's basketball. It makes no difference whether or not you're underneath the semicircle in that restricted area.
Yeah, they got rid of basically the no charge zone. And I think it's a good rule, a good change for women's basketball. Again, freedom of movement, try to create more offense. People like watching offense, and I think that's going to help the game get more chances for teams to score.
You sound like you're campaigning for the NFL as well, as that seems to be a philosophy across the board in the world of sports.
Offense sells tickets, defense wins championships.
He's a coach as well, people. He does it all. 18-15, Columbia up by 3 with a minute 40 to go, and here in quarter number 1. A tight affair as Providence is shooting 60% from the field. They go inside to Sarah Bandoma, the transfer from St. Francis College in Brooklyn, and draws a foul on the interior against Columbia. It's going to go against Noah Comasanya. That'll be number 1 on her and the team's 3rd.
Lance, one of the sad stories in sports in the New York area last year was St. Francis ending their athletic programs and just disbanding them. So good that she found a new home here in Providence, and hopefully many of the St. Francis players have found new places to play basketball and other sports.
And they like her because she's a true big as she nearly grabs the offensive rebound. The Henderson sisters at work. Fliss sets up Kitty, and Kitty cannot answer initially, and the second time can't bounce her way. They're still fighting for it, and it was last touch by Columbia. It will head back to Providence.
Again, I love the fight by the Lions, sort of hitting the floor at every loose possession. You see Kitty driving there. A nice shot attempt. First, second shot didn't fall either. But again, trying to hit the floor and create more opportunities. Lions may be undersized, but they're being very scrappy on both ends of the court.
And the battle on the glass right now is 9-7 in favor of Columbia. Lions have missed their last 4 field goal attempts. Providence has not necessarily made them pay. We'll see if they can capitalize here in the final minute of the first quarter. They go inside to Bandoma. And Bandoma floats it in over Perry Page.
Love that double high screen and then had the post dive to the basket. Great play. There was no chance for the Lions to help on that. Really nice offensive execution.
The junior out of Rhode Island coming in shooting 83% from the field, and that's going to be a turnover off the foot of Fliss Henderson. That is going to be number 3 against Columbia.
Lance, we saw this weekend in the win over Northeastern where the Lions put up 80-plus points. They're attacking the basket really well and getting good opportunities and really open shots. Those aren't there yet today because Providence is a little bit bigger, a little bit tougher, a little bit stronger. So you got to be a little bit stronger than the Lions on those drives to protect the basketball.
Not a lot of room to operate because of the length and size of Providence. It's about a second differential between shot clock and game clock. They whip it around the perimeter, and they go back inside to Bandoma. Cannot finish underneath, cannot clean up her own mess, and Page gets out of the pile. 4 seconds to go. Kitty to Fliss. 1, can she get it off? And right now they're going to count the bucket, and they'll take another look. Exclamation point to end quarter number 1 as Fliss Henderson slithers through the Providence defense and finds an opening. 1 quarter in the books. We take another look. The sisters go to work left to right. It's a 3-point game.
Play music.
Choose Counter when you order ahead in the McDonald's app, and you can skip the line and get your food faster. Well played. Order ahead in the app to save time.
USAA? Yeah, they have awesome rates on coverage for our car, home, and stuff. She has a lot of stuff.
Stop here to begin the second quarter.
And it's Cleveland the site of the Final Four this year. So back in Cleveland for the first time since 2007.
Providence off the pump. The dribble drive. Archibald could not finish at the rim, which is what Aaron Back was calling for. Fliss left all alone. The Friars inching closer to Columbia's rebounding total. Mariah Scott showcasing her range as Providence is 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. And Page could not handle the deep pass from Kitty. That's turnover number 4.
Yeah, she didn't look like she was even ready for that pass. Always a good idea to try to advance the ball up here as we see a nice pass over there, a deep 3 by the Friars. If they start hitting some more from the outside, that's going to open up the inside even more because then Columbia can't collapse defensively on the talented post players like Olsen for the Friars.
And this is a team that's shooting just 27% from beyond the arc. That's 9th out of 11 Big East schools. That's not their bread and butter. Farrell leaves it for Scott. 15 on the shot clock. Abby Shue knocks it loose. They will stay with the Friars.
Lance, we talked about turnovers. Providence only had 3 in the first quarter, so that's a number that's going to be on the stat sheet that coach is going to like. Finishing not so much, but turnovers and taking care of the basketball is one that's a good stat for Providence so far this morning.
And Doug Columbia only scored 1 point off of those 3 turnovers. Archibald denied by Riley Weiss. Scott picks it up. They go inside to Farrell. 7 on the shot clock. And Farrell gets the roll as the points in the paint continue to collect 14 of their 22.
Yeah, it's a simple recipe for success. Get the ball inside, keep pounding it inside, and crash the offensive boards.
3-pointer by Collins, in and out. Page tracks down the loose ball off the pump. Floats it in over Olsen. Columbia taking a page out of Providence's play.
A great job there by Page of, again, being scrappy on the offensive glass and getting the second opportunity for the Lions.
So Perry Page, 6 points, 7 rebounds already, both new season highs.
And she's going to be key today as really one of the athletic players who can really board on both ends and give some problems to Providence.
Archibald again, short at the rim. Page in and out of traffic on the attack. And they're going to call a blocking foul as Page gets the bucket plus the foul. And now She all of a sudden has a new season high.
Just a great job there. Again, looking at this time, she was looking for the basketball, attacking the basket, going up strong, and getting the foul, and a chance for the three-point play.
We talked about Kitty Henderson being aggressive. Well, apparently Perry Page following the lead of another backcourt member of this team.
And that's what happens when you can start hitting some shots from the outside. It opens up drives because teams have to respect the three-point shot and play you tougher, which opens up drives to the paint.
Foul line against Morales Romero. That is her first. Team's first here in the second. Page 83% from the line prior to that miss. So we approach 7.5 minutes to go in the first half. Providence with Farrell, sealed off by Shu. 10 on the shot clock, leaves it for Morales Romero. Puts up the contested three, well off the mark. Kitty on the floor, rolls it to Shu. And Columbia bouncing back the other way. Page, she has looked to score. And this time, Thomas says, not on my watch.
Yeah, but again, attacking the basket. You attack the basket 5 times, you maybe get blocked a couple, but get a couple foul calls. It's probably worth it. As we see a nice drive there, and Penny with a really nice, well, she seemed to have lost the ball on the way up, so let's not give her 100% credit for the block, but a nice job of having her hands straight up and being able to be there and make that more difficult for Paige.
She assisted Bandoma on that one. Not sure what box score that goes under, but we'll get back to you here. Off the inbounds, Abby Shu trying to create her own shot. The runner with the right hand bounces through, and Abby Shu has 8.
Another strong first half. Abby had 24 in the first half the other day against Northeastern. So far, 8 almost in double figures with almost a little under 7 minutes to go in the second half.
Fliss Henderson, they get on the region. That is her first, and the team's first here in the second. Columbia on a 6-0 run. It's been a balanced attack. Shu, Page, and Collins each have 8 points.
Collins got them going early, and Shu, and now Page's turn in the second quarter sort of take over the offensive flow as they haven't been as open, Collins and Shu, in this first few minutes of the second period.
Morales Romero will reset with Scott. 10 on the shot clock. Sortoteta sets the screen, can't get the feet inside, and here comes Weiss. Tries to bounce it to Collins. We're going to get a kick ball as Scott was able to get her leg in the way.
Yeah, that was a tough pass to make into the post. You want to have your post player set as opposed to trying to dive to the basket, and that was why there was a turnover.
Providence taking a timeout here with Columbia leading by 4 with 6.5 to go in the second quarter.
And they all started with a crazy idea.
Why can't there just be an amazing non-alcoholic beer that wouldn't affect me the next day?
And one that actually tasted great?
Oh, wow. That's a great idea.
And there you have it. Just 2 totally delusional people.
Columbia basketball on SNY is brought to you by Athletic Brewing. Athletic Brewing crafts great tasting and award-winning non-alcoholic beers that are fit for all times. Perry Page has been some spark plug done for Columbia right in the middle of the thick of things in the paint.
Yeah, she's been getting second chances on offense when they've missed shots, then running the floor and attacking the basket herself and getting baskets and fouls and doing a really good job of helping the Lions even the battle of the paint. They trail 14-12 now. If they can keep that even for the game, it probably will lead to a Lion win.
And it has simultaneously come amongst a Providence scoring drought of over 2 minutes. Columbia trying to pad its lead off the inbounds. Weiss, the Henderson sisters, Collins, and Shu, and we're going to get a foul on Providence. They're going to get Mugnet Sertateta.
Coach Griffith's really good at out-of-timeout plays, and they actually think we're trying to get a backdoor cut there for Abby Shu, and really good job by Providence of sort of sniffing it out and not letting him get the backdoor cut instead of foul, and now a 3 by Weiss. So 3 for 2, so to speak, on that inbound play off the timeout.
And the 4th made 3 for Columbia as we look at Riley Weiss's numbers on the season. She initially was in the starting lineup, then came off the bench, still trying to find her footing in her first year here at Columbia.
she was a heck of a high school player out on Long Island. Her dad's a longtime high school coach. Just, I mean, I hate to say coach's daughter, but really exemplifies that as a great head Z player who can score and also pass the ball.
And Scott exemplifies a swish as she has found the rhythm from beyond the arc. And she now has 6 points on 2 of 2 shooting from beyond the arc. Columbia has made 4 of its last 5 field goal attempts, as the shooting percentage for both teams hovering around 50. 10 on the shot clock for the Lions. Collins down the baseline. Cross-court feed to Kitty. Has not hit a shot. And you can end that drought. Kitty Henderson getting on the board. Timing is everything, and she knows how to deliver.
Really nice drive, baseline there. The Lions love that cross-court pass for open threes, and Henderson nails that one.
So the 5 players in the game have all scored in this contest as Morales Romero takes advantage of an opening in the Columbia D.
Conversely, the Lions were all high off the defense there as Providence drew them out, leaving a wide-open driving lane for Morales.
She gets on the board for the first time in an ill-advised pass between Fliss and Collins. Turnover number 5.
You see the nice drive on the baseline by Collins and the cross-court pass to a wide-open Kitty Henderson in the corner. Her first basket of the day, swishing the 3.
She was 0 for 4 prior to that make. Second leading scorer on the season.
And it gives the Lions more options. I mean, they've only had 4 players score before that Henderson 3, so have, again, a balanced scoring attack makes them that much more dangerous on the offensive end.
Olivia Olsen, leading scorer for Providence, back in. Calls for it down low, draws the double. Columbia not giving her much breathing room. And just throws it into no woman's land out of play.
Lions sending a second defender to make it more difficult for Olsen, and result, turnover.
As that is turnover number 5 for the Friars. Columbia scored 4 points off of those mishaps.
Coach telling us last night she asked her team like apple or peach turnovers. That was probably a lot better in apple or peach than having that one, which went to nobody.
Well, at least she has a sense of humor about it, though. Something tells me she's not smiling about Perry Page's performance, as Page is now in double figures with 10.
Another great attack of the basket. Coach not happy with him. She thought that she could have gotten a charge there, but no one stepped up to actually take the contact for the charge.
And points in the paint is now even at 14 apiece. Sergio Taita takes 1 too many steps, as now all of a sudden the turnovers piling up for the Friars.
Yeah, I mean, they had 3 in the first quarter, and they've already doubled that, if not more, here in the second quarter. And again, at least this one was a dead ball turnover, so the Lions couldn't take advantage of it, of a quick offensive strike. But the last 2 have just been sort of careless mistakes on the offensive end by Providence.
So Providence now showing a 2-3 zone on defense as they now break apart a little bit. Columbia moving it around the perimeter, and a travel gives it back to Providence. So the turnovers have plagued both teams.
A lot of happy feet by the post players on both sides there. Good things happen when you have a post player catch the ball in the post, turn and score. When they try to do a little bit more than they're used to, it may make life more difficult, and we've seen a turnover on each end.
Lauren Edwards, the former grad assistant, returning to the court, running point here for the Flyers. It's the handoff from Archibald, thinking about the jumper. Farrell spinning, driving, and missing. As we approach 3 minutes to go here in quarter number 2. Kitty floats it to Shu, saves it to Stevens, her 3-pointer. Recovered initially by Page, diving for it is Farrell. Are we going to get a jump ball? It is heading the opposite way.
On a jumper, I think Page might have been out of bounds when she was touching the ball. That's why Providence gets the ball there. But again, good hustle on the ball, trying to get second, third opportunities, maybe not getting the rebound, but going down and just creating chaos by attacking both ends of the floor and being scrappy.
Those second effort plays don't always show up in the box score. So here's another look at Abby Shu walking that tightrope and getting it to Nicole Stevens.
Yeah, just a great hustle effort. Hustle plays help you get second and third opportunities there, and we see the ball going out of bounds, and it looks like I said, you can't see the line there. I think Paige is out of bounds. Yeah, the referee points to the line, goes the other way, although it looks like they're reviewing that, actually whether she was out of bounds or not.
Well, it's interesting, Doug, because based on that replay, it didn't appear to me as if Perry was involved in that tie-up. It was actually Kitty Henderson and Farrell. So even though, to your point, Paige's body may have been out of play, she did not have her hands anywhere in the vicinity, at least from that vantage point on the basketball. So the officiating crew taking another look, and we'll now look at another angle. So keep close tabs on number 1 in white for Columbia as Kitty blocks it, but you're going to see Kitty gets tied up here with Farrell, and Perry, Doug, doesn't seem to be touching the basketball there.
Yeah, she took 2 swipes of the ball. If she didn't touch it in those swipes, then she wouldn't be in the play, as you said. So that's, I think, what the officials are looking right now. If she actually had one of those swipes touch the basketball or not, you can't be out of bounds, and obviously touching basketball because you're out of bounds, ball goes the other way. So if she was not touching it at all, and she missed some of those 2 swipes, then it's just be a jump ball most likely, and you see the possession arrow favors the Friars. So either way, it's going to be Friars ball, but the key thing is possession arrow. So jump ball goes the other way, and the Lions get the next jump ball opportunity.
Because it impacts later in the game, the flow. So from that standpoint, it is critical. Not like if you get a 4th down stop in football, and it doesn't matter whether you get the turnover or not, because you're going to take over on offense regardless. Doesn't necessarily impact the flow of the game. So the officials still looking at this as Columbia talking things over. They have made 4 of their last 5. Here, let's take yet another look. So Paige and Farrell here are going for the ball, but watch Paige's hands. Not hitting the basketball, Kitty comes in.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to miss than it is to actually get the ball, and we'll see if it's actually going to be a jump ball or out of bounds. But either way, it's going to be Providence ball. That's the key thing there, and we'll see.
And it seems as if they said it was out of bounds, was the ruling based on what Brandon Appel told us as he walked over. So apparently they still feel that Perry Page may have had a hand in it because it's not a formal jump ball ruling, Doug.
Right. I mean, she just has to have her hand on the ball for a split second, and that would give the ball because she was out of bounds. Clearly, either way, Providence ball, back to the action.
Columbia leading by 7. Providence trying to cut into this deficit. Olsen trying to set the screen for Eddie. She started off red hot. She's double teamed, and that does make a difference. It's last touch, though, by the Lions.
Yeah, I'm guessing Coach Griffith in practice the other day said, okay, we're going to start one way against Olsen. We'll play one-on-one, see how it goes. If it's not working well, we'll send a second defender and double her, and that's what they've been doing most of the second quarter when she's been in there to make life more difficult for the talented big for Providence.
Here's Eddie. Has some room to operate on Kitty. And Stevens deflects it out of play. 11 on the shot clock.
I think Providence has been going a little bit away from going inside. They have a really big lineup in right now. I would think they try to pound the ball into the post in this last 11 seconds.
Well, it seems Columbia's made an adjustment by hovering around Olsen, who's now out on the perimeter. 8 on the shot clock as Farrell goes for the scoop. And we're going to get a foul on Columbia. Stevens took the brunt of that. And no, it's going to go the opposite way, actually.
Yeah, the charge that Coach Bass is hoping to get her team to do, Columbia did here, stepping in there. A really nice job there by Stevens, stepping up, taking the contact, and we're going the other way.
All of the Friars were celebrating initially as if it was in favor of them. Meanwhile, the official went about face and pointed in the opposite direction. So it's a scoring drought of over 2.5 minutes for Providence. Columbia trying to capitalize. They haven't scored in the last 2 minutes themselves. Kitty for 3, blocked. Scott got a hand on it. Comesaña saves it. 10 on the shot clock. Stevens kicks it out. Page takes over. Sealed off. Out to Stevens for 3. And that is spreading the wealth for Columbia. They're 6-3 in the day.
Really nice 2-man game there between Stevens and Page for the open 3. Just a great 2-man basketball.
And they are winning the battle on the glass by 3. 7-4 on the offensive glass. Olsen again cannot get the roll. Comesaña the rebound.
Comesaña gets some really good minutes inside, and being a body to battle Olsen and making shots when she does get an opportunity, that much more difficult.
Megan Griffith has called her the defensive heartbeat of the team. hitting with 13 on the shot clock. Floats it to Shu. You don't want to leave her open. She gets the roll plus the foul. My goodness. Abby Shu taking advantage of the friendly rings, and she will have an opportunity to complete the 4-point play.
Just right there in front of the Providence bench. Shooter's going to shoot, and the 3-point play and the chance for the free throw here. Just a great play. Once again, the offensive end, the Lions finding open players on the outside. Back-to-back threes, the chance for a 4-point play here for Columbia.
Foul goes on Archibald, her first, the team's fourth. And Abby Shu completes the 4-point play. She is now 2 of 4 from the line.
Lions are the biggest lead of the afternoon at 14. Chance at the last minute here to keep it in double digits heading into the half.
Scott in and out. Stevens a rebound with under a minute to go. Columbia shooting 47% from downtown. And Abby Shu has 2 of those trifectas. Off the crossover, in the corner to Page. Give it! Barry Page having a day to remember. She's got 13, and that is a new career high.
Three straight threes and a 4-point play there. So Lions extending from the outside this lead before the half.
A 17-point advantage in a game that barely had breathing room. They're trying to stop the bleeding. 10 on the shot clock. Providence inside goes back to its bread and butter thanks to Sertoteta. 5 seconds. Henderson down low. Leads in at the buzzer. Can't get the roll. But that will not take away from the offensive clinic.
For this afternoon already. Great job by Abby Shu on these offensive ends.
As Abby Shu had 12 points in the first half, and here's our highlighted player, Perry Page. Just has a knack for the geography of the court, though.
Yeah, I mean, she's living in the paint. She hit a couple outside shots, just doing a great job running the floor there and attacking the basket. A career-high 13 points in the first 20 minutes, and also 7 rebounds. So just doing it all for the Lions so far in the first half.
They finished +5 on the glass, mainly thanks to Perry Page's presence. But as we mentioned early on, it was Olivia Olsen getting comfortable inside.
Yeah, she was getting really good post position in the first few minutes of this game, and the Lions had no answer for her. They had to change their defensive schemes, going from single team to double team, and she gave the Friars an early chance to be in this game, scoring on the inside.
Olsen had 10 points in the first half. We look at the tail of the tape. 8 threes for Columbia, just 3 for Providence. They had the advantage on the glass, and the turnovers just about even in the first half.
Yeah, if you're Providence, you're actually not upset with only 7 turnovers, but the 8 threes by the Lions and just the points in the paint where the Lions were only trailed 16-14, those numbers favor Columbia.
And they were trailing for the majority of the first half until that lead run by Columbia, a 12-2 run to close out the first half. Here at the break, it is Columbia ahead of Providence, 44-29. We will step aside and return right here on SNY.
It's NBA on ESPN time.
True story. The ACC-SEC Challenge will make November feel like March. First, Tennessee takes on North Carolina. Then it's a clash between Duke and Arkansas. Tonight on ESPN.
We've been living it since day one.
So much to.
Now, unlike Lauren Edwards of Providence, no eligibility, Doug, left for Camille Zimmerman, from what I'm told.
You know, they wouldn't mind having her for another year, but no, she was pre-COVID, so she doesn't get that extra 5th year.
Providence trailing here at the break. Doug, similar situation for the Friars. Last game at Penn State, they trailed by 20. They overcame it, took a 5-point lead in the second half. You wonder how much they can lean on that.
Yeah, I would think Coach Bath was in there at halftime saying to them, hey guys, we've been in this position before. We came back. We actually took the lead, as you said, against a really good Penn State team before falling by 7 the other day. So you can draw on past experiences, and that's something that they hope to draw on here in the second half as they trail by 15.
It is a Friars team that is 3-3 on the season. Columbia 3-4. Well, the Lions coming off the win here at home on Saturday, 88-45. It will be Providence basketball to start the second half. With Farrell, Archibald, Olsen, Scott, and Morales-Romero. Olsen underneath, and she begins the second half just like she started the game.
Yeah, and a little bit of pressure here being applied by Providence. The half-court or full-court trap. Surprising Columbia a little bit.
Columbia successfully breaks it down. Kitty up ahead to Fliss. Tries to sneak it underneath. Too much mustard on that one. Turnover number 7.
Yeah, she did a little bit too close to the basket, trying to attack the 2-on-1 there, and her teammate wasn't there for that pass. A little bit too far out. So momentum shift a little bit there. Inside play, inside basket, and the full court pressure gave the Lions a little bit of trouble.
Shu and Kitty trying to trap Morales-Romero. Dangerous pass to Olsen. Here's Farrell leaning in and banking it home, and a quick 4-0 spurt to start the third quarter. Kitty up ahead to Collins. Stops, pops, can't lay it in. But there was contact underneath, and Providence's coaching staff furious with that call, as this is going to go against Farrell.
Yeah, we saw a really good pass there, looking up ahead after the basket by Providence and finding Collins, who's had a relatively quiet last 10 minutes to end the half, get established here early in the third quarter.
Now, the reason they're irritated is that's the third on Farrell, but also, Doug, it appeared she kept both hands straight up on that one.
Yeah, the law of verticality looked like it was one, but there's only 3 people actually have a decision whether it's actually a foul or not, and that's the 3 officials, and they decided to call that a foul.
So Collins, the recipient of 2 free throws. She's able to take advantage, 81% coming in. As now Lauren Edwards will return from Providence. Farrell takes a seat after once again picking up her third personal.
And I think you actually made a good point, Lance, earlier that Providence won the Big East since the Lions 6-1 in their career under Coach Griffith against Big East schools. They have another one on this weekend against Nova. So Lions have had success under Coach against Big East programs. Looking to add to that today.
Especially what they did this month here in this building against Seton Hall. Helter-skelter play out to Scott for 3. She hit 2 already in this game. Loose ball. Archibald had it. Shu picks it up. And back the other way go on a 3-on-2 break. Abby Shu short. Rebounded by Fliss with the left hand. Can't put it through. Kitty the offensive board. And Columbia will settle down. Shu off the dribble drive. Intercepted by Morales-Romero. And a foul at midcourt as Columbia wanted to prevent the transition opportunity.
I mean, Lance, I'll say that as a coach, I don't mind a transition 3-pointer because we had actually some players to get the offensive rebound there. As we see Abby reaching a little bit and getting called for the foul, a little too much body there. Unlike the first half, when she picked the pocket cleanly, that one did too much body. Foul, Providence ball.
Number 1 on her, team's first here in the third. Morales-Romero, tightly guarded by Shu. Olsen sets the screen. And now rolls to the bucket. Too high to her. Intercepted by Fliss. Turnover number 8. It's a 2-on-2 break. Fliss off the hesitation. Floats it in. And Columbia pads its lead.
Last time in the fast break, she looked to pass, threw it away. This time goes up strong, gets the 2 points.
She loves that Euro step maneuver. That's that international flavor from Australia that Fliss and Kitty have added to this roster. And a pump there by Fliss for the personal. That'll be her second.
Listen, I know we talked about it earlier on. We have a nice play here by Fliss attacking the basket there. Euro stepping it. She is from Australia. I think we may have to call this the kangaroo hop instead of the Euro step, just to give the Australia flavor to it. But a nice move there by Fliss to get to the basket. And they said attack is supposed to look to pass it off to her teammate.
I like it. It's not alliterative, but maybe we can work on that moving forward. But it's a good start. Much like Columbia in the first half, as they are still in control with a 15-point lead, and it'll stay that way. Olsen, though, hustles towards the loose ball and taps it to Edwards to salvage this possession. Morales-Romero, too hard off the glass. Abby Shu up ahead to Lauder. Lauder beats Edwards, too high, though, as it hit the top of the backboard and will head the opposite way.
They would love to get some quality minutes out of Lauder here. She got in foul trouble in the first quarter, really. Has no points, no rebounds, whereas last game she wasn't scoring, but actually was a huge factor on the offensive boards and the defensive boards against Northeastern. So they'd love to get her going a little bit here. great job by Columbia looking up the floor and trying to take advantage of a fast break, but just too high on the shot, hit the shot clock.
Fliss talking things over with head coach Megan Griffith. Shoe all over Morales Romero. That's the one thing they're looking for Shoe this season, to be just as sound on the defensive end as she is on the offensive side of the ball. This was last touched by Columbia.
Again, I love the energy. Good, strong start here to the third quarter by both teams on the floor. Shots aren't falling yet, but just being aggressive and getting second and third chances off scrappy plays.
A scoring drought of nearly 2.5 minutes for the Friars. Eddie off the inbounds, 5 on the shot clock. Fakes left, dribbles right. Gets it to Archibald. Short on the 3, and Henderson is in the right place at the right time. They'll reset with Kitty. With 20 on the shot clock. Lions shooting 47% from the field. Abby Shue skims the rim. Olsen there for the rebound. That's number 4 for her.
A couple empty trips in a row for Columbia here. Neither team really taking advantage of the drought by the other squad.
Providence has missed its last 4 field goal attempts. Archibald sealed off on the baseline, a turnaround jumper, and that one is short as well. Not enough juice in the legs. Abby Shue working on Scott. Gives it up to Lauder. Off the curl, she loses the ball. We're going to get a foul. And it's going to go against Nariah Scott. That's going to be her first and the team's second.
Yeah. Coach Bath didn't think it was a foul. I think the official said that she hit her with the body, not the arms. So the arms are good, but gave her a little bit of bump. Lauder going to the line for 2 free throws here.
And they also said that Lauder was in the act of shooting, interestingly. So that is why, as you mentioned, she heads to the charity stripe. Lauder this season, 80%. Has not attempted a free throw thus far today. As Columbia as a team is now 6 of 9.
Again, a nice drive there, aggressive, trying to get something going on the offensive end. As I said, she's had a quiet afternoon so far. Getting to the free throw line, makes the second one, so gets on the board, and hopefully gets a little bit of that energy going for Columbia as they've had just a lull here to start the third quarter on the offensive end.
And Lauder has struggled from the field this season, Doug, but what she has done to make up for it is her presence on the glass. She had a career-high 11 rebounds in Saturday's win over Northeastern. Providence trying to get back into rhythm. Farrell backing her way to the bucket on Kitty. Kicks it out. And we're going to get a foul on the floor. As Bella McLaughlin in for the first time.
Actually, I think he gave her 2 shots in this. Nice pass out from the high post. Drive down the lane with the body. 2 shots for Friday.
And she was able to continue towards the rim. 2 shots. Abby Shue picking up her second. McLaughlin, the freshman out of Maine. This is her first career free throw. Product of Hampton Academy, where she was an all-state player as a junior and a senior. She's actually still looking for her first career points, and it's going to stay that way as Perry Page grabs the rebound.
And actually, that ball is kept alive by Lauder, tipped it over to her teammate Page. Again, being more active on the offensive glass or the defensive glass as she struggled to get minutes in the first half of the actually illegal screen there by Page. So a little bit too aggressive on the offensive end there, but just trying to establish herself now. She has 3 fouls here. Foul trouble being a problem for her against the talented Providence front line.
That is also the team's 4th personal. Weiss picks the pocket of McLaughlin. Columbia looking to push. Page back to Weiss, puts up the tray, and connects. Riley Weiss, welcome to the 3-point shootout, as Columbia has knocked down 9 of them.
It's always tough for a freshman to adjust to college play, but she did a great job there, hitting the 3.
Another turnover, Kitty spotting up Weiss at the rim. Lauder fighting for the loose ball. We're going to get a jump ball, and the possession arrow will stay on Columbia's end.
So a nice pick in the pocket there as we see Riley drive up, the court and pass it over to her teammate, get it back herself for the open three. Lions lead 52-33.
Creating energy drinks. Make thousands of drinks with the Ninja Thirsty Drink System.
So this is the left foot of Erin Bath, head coach of Providence, showcasing a boot because she actually broke her foot, Doug, recently in the midst of a team building exercise.
Yeah, Lance, we talked about her last night. She's like, you asked, you think, could she get out there and help defensively? She was a heck of a defensive player. And she's like, I broke my foot, I can't do it, and also rolled my ankle. So doing exercise, she was on the ground, broke her ankle, broke her foot, and she went into mother mode. She said, guys, get out of here. I don't want you to see me cry. So hopefully she'll be recovered soon. The foot injury will be healed, and she'll be back to being able to stomp up and down the sidelines with both feet.
Battling through in the early stages of her head coaching tenure with the Friars, as Riley Weiss called for the offensive foul.
And the other thing I thought you asked, which is a great question about transfers, and she gave a really good answer. As a new coach coming in, Olivia Olsen is one of the ones who could have transferred, put her name in the portal, and she said, listen, go explore, see, have some official visits, but while you're doing that, let me at least work you out still so you get to know me a little bit. And sure enough, the 3 kids who went to the transfer portal stayed with Providence. So really good, smart first head coaching move of trying to keep your players, show them who you're like. As you see a nice pass inside there, and followed by Henderson for layup. And to finish the point, just a great move to say, hey, go explore. If other options there, go give it a shot. But also, see what I am as a coach. And they all stuck around, and we'll see how the season plays out for them.
It was Olsen, it was Kylie Shepard, and Grace Ifosa. Ifosa's the second leading scorer who's hurt as Bandoma lays it in. So you had 3 of the top 4 scorers from last year's team explore the option to leave, but I think the fact that they still stayed on campus and were engaged in team activities, Doug, helped her convince them to hang around and stay.
Yeah, and it's been a really good thing to have established scorers returning, although as I said, Grace is hurt right now, but a chance for her to sort of build with a good culture and a good group and see what, hey, I'm a pretty good coach, give me a shot, and that's what happened.
So Riley Weiss, as well as Paige Lauder, head to the bench for Columbia. Lions now with the Henderson sisters, Fliss and Kitty, Paige, Stevens, and Shu. 17 on the shot clock for the Lions, up by 19. Shu off the curl. And Abby Shu, nothing but net. 10 made threes for Columbia, and Abby is responsible for 3 of them.
Lance, I'm laughing because we just put that exact same inbounds play in yesterday in the high school team I coach. We don't have an Abby Shu to shoot the 3, but it's more for the curl as the first look.
Are you sharing plays with Megan Griffin? Is that what you're insinuating as we get a timeout called here by the Friars after jumping on the loose ball? Columbia in rhythm and in sync thanks to that young lady, Abby Shu, the smooth touch. All Columbia.
Live sports.
13-2 run by the Lions over the last 550. Providence has cut down the turnovers, and just as I say that, they add to their tally. That's number 11. Doug, what I was going to say is you look at 26 turnovers the last game, so more than half. The problem is they're just not finishing at the rim today to help offset that.
Yeah, the Lions are doing a good job of making things more difficult in the paint for Providence than they did in the first quarter. As you see, turnover by the Lions there, but really, I mean, Providence, you look at the key numbers. 22-18 on the points in the paint. Providence is a lead, but not as big as you probably want it to be if you're a Friars fan. Lions with 10 threes to 3 for Providence, so numbers trending towards Columbia's way. And again, the shooting, Columbia just under 50%, Providence a bit under that at 40%.
Providence held to just 35 points in this game thus far. And a foul against Kitty Henderson out on the perimeter. That is going to be number 1 on Kitty, and that is the team 6. So we're going to have Scott head to the line. Cecilia Collins is going to come in, replacing Kitty Henderson.
It's good for the Lions fans, Lance, that each line started taking a turn beating them. You had Collins early on, then Abby got going, then Perry got going, and then Abby's gotten going again, and Kitty had a couple baskets. And Lions 15 assists on their 20 baskets, numbers you like to see, being unselfish, working the ball around, not really one-on-one basketball, but getting everyone to touch, turning good plays into great ones.
Scott is their best free throw shooter. She's 6 of 6 on the season. She stays perfect. The junior out of Holden, Massachusetts, last season shot 80% from the line. And she missed the first 2 games this season due to injury, so she's still trying to get a little bit into rhythm and sync.
A little pressure here again by Providence off the made free throws.
And they pressed them at the beginning of the third quarter, and that forces a turnover here. It's a loose scramble, and now it's going to head back the opposite way.
I think actually, yeah,
they came in and reversed it,
yes.
And that was the far side official, Doug, because initially it was ruled to head the opposite way, and then we saw Scott Perkins come in, who was on the opposite side of the court.
Helping each other out, correct call. Providence, again, showing a little bit of pressure after that made free throw. I don't know if they have enough legs to do it for a consistent amount of time, but if you can change the tempo and try to get a couple quick steals like this last time they did it, not a bad thing to try to get back in this game.
Well, they need more at bats. They've only scored 8 points here in the third, and it's going to stay that way as Abby Shue makes another dazzling save, and then Stevens is fouled by McLaughlin.
It's never a situation where trying to save it underneath the basket in your own basket, but the Lions got away with it there as Abby threw it further out than the three-point line so that Stevens could catch it and go. So, opportunity for Columbia, who's doing actually a really nice job in the post in the last probably 17, 18 minutes of containing Olsen by adding a second defender on her. Can't really go to one-on-one, send a second defender, make her either make a tough shot or pass the ball out.
Henderson speaking in the paint, caught in traffic, out to Shue. It rattles around the rim. Olsen there for her 5th rebound. Providence has made just one of its last 8 field goal attempts, down to 39% on the game as McLaughlin is able to draw the contact en route to the bucket.
A nice baseline drive there by McLaughlin, and Lions a little bit slow to help Paige trying to come over. As you see her drive to the left there, gets by Kitty, and Paige just slept over and committed the foul as opposed to stepping up and potentially taking the charge on the defensive end.
Paige picks up her first, team 7th. McLaughlin, though, is in the act of shooting. She will shoot 2. McLaughlin 0 for 2 in this game, and that was her first 2 attempts as a collegiate player, and there is her first career point as a Providence Friar.
That's a nice stroke. When the first 2 didn't go, but has a nice stroke from the line. I'm sure she can get a lot more points in her career here for Providence as she hits the second free throw. So, a little nervous the first time going to the free throw line in college. Gets to hit the second set of 2.
Hits New York City, the big stage. Not that we have anything against Maine, where she's from, but a little different feel. Kitty from the corner. Long rebound, goes back to Kitty, and Columbia looks to do damage again. Collins out to Kitty. Is the second time a charm. No, it's not. And Scott grabs the rebound.
Henderson struggling from the field, 2 of 9 so far this afternoon, but doing other things with 7 rebounds and 5 assists. So really finding other ways to help her team when she's not shooting well from the outside, which we highlighted before the game, averaging 5 points more a game this season, shooting much better from the field, but just having a rough start to her afternoon.
So here's a second chance opportunity for Providence. McLaughlin from the baseline. Good tip there by Farrell. Off the power dribble, draws the foul, and she will head back to the free throw line.
Second and third opportunities. Providence really doing a good job of crashing the offensive glass, just not getting the ball to go into the basket, but really just nice job there. A nice power dribble, going up strong, getting the foul, and getting a chance to get 2 from the free throw line.
Number 2 on Komisanya, team's 8th, so Komisanya heads back to the bench. And Farrell is able to capitalize on the first. 76% on the season.
Komisanya doing a really nice job in the first half of being a bigger body for Coach Griffith to throw in there against the talented front line of the Friars. 3 rebounds in the first half. Didn't score, but did a great job in her 6 minutes.
And it just goes to show you the effort she brings even when she is not engaged on the offensive side of the ball. Nicole Stevens in the lane, out to Kitty. Kitty looking for space. Abby Shue draws the reach in against Providence with 11 on the shot clock. Is they going to get McLaughlin with her second?
A nice job there by Abby of doing a low dribble, getting out of the corner and creating the fence. That she was trying to reach in and steal the ball, but couldn't because there was the low dribble, and that got the foul because she hit the arm instead of the ball.
As Eddie comes in to replace McLaughlin for Providence. Joining Olsen, Farrell, Archibald, and Surtoteta. Under a minute to go. Shu from deep in the corner. Page fighting for the loose ball. She can't hold on to it, and Stevens is there to pick it up. Inside to Collins. And Surtoteta able to clear it out.
A great hustle play. Just the shot didn't go, but I love that play. I love the pass. I love everything about it except just the finish didn't go.
And there's been a lot of that, Doug, throughout this game. As Providence is on a 6-0 run quietly and draws yet another foul against Columbia. Collins picks up her first. So that is the team's ninth.
Sometimes you worry about an early start time. Is that going to mess up the rhythm? Teams are used to creatures that have it in college. But the Lions practice at this time of day anyway. They're normally going from 11 to 1, so the time of the game isn't any different than they're normally doing as far as practice. And they've had big crowds before, so having the almost probably 2,500 screaming kids here shouldn't make a difference for them because they've done a really good job of drawing fans to watch their exciting brand of basketball for the past 2 years.
And also not a time zone change, too, for Providence, so you wouldn't think that would be a factor as Farrell very strong for the charity stripe today, 4 of 4.
Again, some full court pressure here for the last 30 seconds. See if Providence get another turnover, make this game even closer.
But they got the deficit down to 14 thanks to an 8-0 run. As Kitty is able to clear it out, enters the front court, leaves it for Collins. Her three in and out. Bandoma had it, loses it. 3 players in the mix, a jump ball, and that hustle pays off for the Friars. It is heading back Providence as well.
I don't think that Coach Griffin was happy with that shot. It's a good shot choice. She was open, but you probably want to hope for the last shot of the quarter with the shot clock turned off. Under 30 seconds, they could have held for one shot and had a chance. And now Providence has the ball with 17 seconds left, trying to cut into this lead even further.
Well, you gave Providence an extra possession, so you can understand why Megan Griffith not pleased. There was really no sense of urgency to put that up. 10 seconds and counting for the Friars. Eddie gives it up, and that 3 ball unsuccessful, as Providence still underneath, fighting for the loose ball. But we have contact and another foul, and that is going to be the 10th against Columbia.
Yeah, just a good rebound there, and a little too much body there by Fliss Henderson. And now with 1.4 seconds left, going to the line, trying to cut this lead even more and make it a 12-point game.
Fliss picks up her third. Collins now will re-enter. Page heads to the bench. The defensive, offensive substitutions with 1.4 seconds to go. And here is Surtoteta, the freshman out of Lithuania, who comes in at 50% from the line. They're now 11 of 14 as a team. And when you can't get your offense going, this is the way you can play catch-up. And she takes advantage. It's a 10-0 run for Providence. And the Friars showing full court press. Fliss puts up the prayer from half court. Well off the mark, and that is going to do it with 3 quarters in the books. Kitty Henderson, the facilitator, underneath, and then grabs the foul.
Live sports.
And expectations run rampant in the clash between Duke and Arkansas. The ACC-SEC Challenge presented by Continental Tire, tonight on ESPN. The ACC-SEC Challenge begins tonight at 7:15 on ESPN.
Start of the 4th quarter here in New York City with Columbia leading Providence by 12. Doug, a very strong finish for the Friars to the 3rd quarter. They got to the free throw line a lot, and that helped them cut into this deficit.
Yeah, just a really strong press. They picked their spots on the pressure to sort of force Columbia into something they weren't used to on the full court press after made free throws. So able to cut a 20-point deficit into a manageable one at 12 heading into the fourth.
And remember, they overcame a 20-point deficit in their last game at Penn State. And they took a 5-point lead at one point. We'll see whether or not history can repeat itself. As Collins saved it somehow off of Sertoteta before it bounced out of play.
Yeah, fortunate break for Columbia there. I'd love to see them try to get Abby back involved. She only had 3 points in the third quarter after scoring 12 in the first half.
Abby inbounds to Collins. With 12 on the shot clock. Collins spinning, losing the ball, and it's a steal cleanly for Providence. Turnover number 13.
Turnovers mounting up for the Lions now. They need to get a good defensive stop here and sort of quell this momentum that Providence has heading into the start of the fourth quarter.
Friars have scored 8 points off of those mistakes. Archibald denied by Collins. Comes over from the help side and provides a spark. So Fliss leaves it for Kitty. Thinking about the three. The crossover, the scoop. She's blocked down on the other end as Archibald and Bandoma were there.
Yeah, just a good defensive play here by the Lions with Collins stepping over and blocking the shot and then getting the ball and going the other way. And Lions maintain it. Just good defensive plays on both ends of the court.
Abby with the jab. Drives, floats it into the basket. Abby Shue, 17 points and counting.
Just a smart play by the senior there, going for the floater as opposed to taking one more dribble or one more attack and probably have a chance of having that shot blocked. There's nothing defense can do on floaters like that.
She's so good at creating space all by herself. That's the reason why she is on 4 watch lists for major national awards. As Eddie loses her footing, and they're going to say she trips over her own 2 feet and will head back to Columbia.
Yeah, an unforced error there by Providence. Again, now putting a little more pressure on here, trying to force a turnover themselves against the Lions.
And Perry Page bumped by Sertoteta.
Sertoteta not getting over and cutting off that sideline and was allowing her Page to go up. And only thing she could do was foul because you put your foot on the sideline. Don't let the offensive player go through you. That's how you trap effectively.
So that is her second, the team's first. Erin Bath, head coach of the Friars, not pleased with that call. Trying to get her team to come through with a defensive stop. Page from the corner. And Page, nothing but net. Perry Page just adding new chapters to her memorable afternoon. A career performance, 16 points.
And that was a really smart play by Abby Shue, posting up a smaller player on the offensive end and finding her teammate wide open in the corner for the three.
Sertoteta kicks it out to Eddie. 11 on the shot clock for Archibald. As all of a sudden, it's a 17-point advantage for Columbia, thanks to the three-point shooting. Sertoteta from the corner. Long rebound goes to Page. Page has a clear path. And Page is going to answer the call. Everyone leaning on the sophomore from Pittsburgh, who leads the way with 18 points.
Yep, Coach Bath is trying to buy a little time for her starters on the bench to start that fourth quarter, and it's come back to bite them as the Lions have got on this run here to extend the lead back to almost 20.
And then a foul out on the perimeter, Abby Shue. A little too aggressive on Eddie. That'll be her third.
Yeah, we see a really nice play there. A pass on the baseline over to Page from Shue for the open three. Just again, they love those baseline passes across the court. We've had a couple threes off them so far today. The last one by Page.
And Kitty taps it, and they're going to say it went off of Farrell, out of play. Another key deflection by the Lions defense.
Yeah, another turnover. Just doing a good job here early in the fourth of turning up the defensive effort there as Kitty steps up, taps it, gets it off of the Providence player, Lions ball.
The ricochet changed the direction. Farrell couldn't handle it. Lions have hit their last 3 field goal attempts. Abby Shue and Perry Page. Shue tries to scoop it in. And Sertoteta there for the rebound.
Lions tend to do some things a little bit differently on the defensive end, sideline plays. Sometimes they switch the man, they inbound or guard whoever's coming up off of inbounds plays, and that time Kitty's able to knock the ball off of the offensive player and get the ball back for Columbia.
Eddie can't follow through. Underneath is Farrell, initially blocked by Shue at last touch. Columbia, it will stay with the Flyers as we'll have two subs, Stevens and Water in. Collins and Fliss Henderson will get breathers.
Lance, after a little lull to end the third quarter of the defense, and the Lions have really turned it up on the defensive pressure here, interior side, blocking shots and being nuisances, so to speak, on the defensive ends.
They're outscoring Providence 7-0 here in the fourth. Kitty giving Sertal Teta some trouble. Another tie-up. And it is going to stay on Providence's side, but do we have a foul here? That's the question, because we have two officials conferring, and they are going to now reverse course, and it is going to head back to Columbia. It's a jump ball ruling, and now the possession arrow is going to stay with Providence. So, mixed signals here between the officiating crew and the scorer's table, but I think we have settled everything down, and it will be Eddie who will finally inbound, and she inbounds right to the wrong player, Kitty Henderson, and now we have a foul on Sertal Teta. So it was a delayed foul. Eventually we got home.
We had a little of everything there. But the right thing is they got the call right by a jump ball. Inbounds, we got the foul on Sertal Teta, and now we have Columbia's ball.
I think the officiating crew are soothsayers, and they were just essentially predicting the future. Stevens with 18 on the shot clock. And as she puts up the shot, now we'll see, are they going to count that? Right now they're holding up the three-point signal. There was a whistle underneath, away from the three-point shot. So there's going to be another conference here and meeting of the minds. Stevens hit the three, but the contact occurred down low on the baseline, as you see Brandon Appel talking things over with Scott Perkins and Michelle Liu.
And they're going to review it to see if the shot went off in time. All you have to do is be active shooting, not whether it has to be your hand or not, but the active shooting.
So right now, the three is good. They're going to look at it as we step aside in NYC.
Media timeout to actually watch replay after replay on the DD Sport review system, and they got the call right. I mean, clearly it was tight, but the shot was in motion to shoot before the foul occurred. 3-point play, and the ball back to Columbia. It could be potentially a 6-point play.
And the way you worded it, Doug, is on point. It's the shooting motion that they're looking for. It's not necessarily the release of the shot, and it's not whether or not the shot went in. So that's what they timed out accordingly. Bucket counts. Nicole Stevens coming through with a jumper and the foul underneath. So Columbia retains possession here with 20 on the shot clock. Lions have hit 12 threes in this game. That's 3 above their season average. And Abby Shue has 3 of them. And it will stay that way as Kitty ties up Sertal Teta and muscles her way to the ground. And the possession arrow is going to stay with the Lions.
And that's all from that play about a minute ago. As you see the 3 there and the hustle play by Kitty, you get the rebound second shot. When they gave the jump ball out of bounds to Providence, they turned it over in the foul. Now the Lions got this jump ball. Next one goes to Providence. And potentially, again, chance for a 6-point play for Columbia.
So you're talking about the most indecisive jump ball possession arrow in the history of the game as Abby Shue misses, and Abby Shue cleans it up herself. She does a little bit of everything. Rebounds and points, and she is now up to 19.
A 5-point possession, which took about 40 seconds off the clock also, so really good outcome for Columbia fans.
As we approach 5.5 minutes here in the fourth. Another steal. Kitty Henderson, clear path. Archibald trailing, and a great hustle play to knock it out just as she was about to release the shot.
Really, really nice hustle play there by Archibald to get back, not give up the easy 2, and not the foul. So a steal there as they're trying to throw the cross-court top of the key. Really dangerous spot for a pass. Henderson with a steal. Archibald hustling back, getting her hand on the ball, and not fouling, and making the Lions have to earn it from an inbounds play.
And if you're Aaron Bath, Doug, in a game in which your team is trailing by 24, you like the fact that your players are still challenging in transition.
Yeah, playing hard, play to the final whistle. We're still early in the season. Things like that help you later on when you get into conference play against a really good Big East conference.
Fliss amongst the towers. And it is Bandomo with the rebound.
We saw Fliss with that shot the other day, the little baby hook in the lane. I think it was off glass on against Northeastern. This time she tried to do it without the glass, didn't get the roll.
Providence is shooting just 16% from the field in the second half. They are 0 for 5 here in the fourth. Van Doma draws the double. Out to Archibald. McLaughlin. Van Doma the rebound and lays it up.
I mean, you mentioned the shooting. They got back into the game in the third quarter because of free throws. Chance the Lions were fouling too much. Now the Lions clean that up a bit, and making shots are hard to come by, or baskets are hard to come by for Providence, except obviously off a second chance when you have no one contesting.
That also slowed down the pace of the game a little bit as Henderson can't get the roll. And Perry Page again in the mix. A jump ball, though, this time possession arrow in favor of the Friars.
The Lions getting back to the scrappiness they had in the first half on both ends of the court, being on the defensive end, the defensive intensity. And here we see Page coming on the offensive end, grabbing the board a 10th of the game and getting tied up. But again, good job being scrappy and aggressive on the offensive and defensive glass.
And that gives her 10 rebounds, so that is a new padding of her career high. 8 was the previous one, and her first career double-double, 18 points, 10 boards.
It gives the Lions another weapon on the offensive end that they were lacking a little bit with the loss of Caitlin Davis to the transfer to USC and Jada Patrick. So someone who can give them a double-double and also facilitate is a wonderful addition to Coach Griffith's offense and defense.
As Perry Page is going to pick up the personal here, that is her second. The other name I would throw into the mix is not necessarily maybe a double-double threat, but Hannah Pratt, another presence on the glass, because there was a lot of concern, Doug, coming in to this game as Perry Page greeted by Abby Shue, that perhaps the loss of size would hurt a team that had a really nice balance the previous season.
And they had players that were wanted. Pratt's now at Tulane, Jada Patrick at Miami, and Caitlin Davis at USC. So that's 3 big schools that they went to, showing what they can offer other teams and what the Lions have lost with their going through the transfer, because obviously Ivy League players can't stay for the COVID year, the 5th year, because the league doesn't allow it.
Says a lot about the quality of the players Megan Griffith has brought into this program. Nicole Stevens, the extra pass to Weiss. Susie Raffu, who's now in, tracks down the loose ball. Dangerous pass to Stevenson with 15 on the shot clock. Weiss looking for a closer shot. Back out to Stevens. Comesaña on the offensive glass. The hook shot. And Olsen there for the rebound.
They're not falling, but again, they're getting second, third opportunities. That's what you like to see. They will fall at some point, but just getting active on the offensive glass.
They're plus 10 on the rebounding front. Van Doma eating into that, and she will earn a trip to the line.
I love the minutes that Van Doma's given Coach Bat the last couple here, attacking the offensive glass herself, getting second, third opportunities. She had the layup before, now she gets to go to the foul line for 2 free throws, but just being aggressive here, going up strong, doesn't get the first one to fall, get it again, go up strong. Lions just didn't get her out of there, didn't put a body on her to push her out, but a good job getting to the foul line.
Comesaña got hit in the nose. She did pick up the personal, her third, the team's third. So Van Doma will go to the line, the junior out of Rhode Island, 25% this season. Has an extensive reach on her follow-through. Transferred from St. Francis, Brooklyn. We mentioned that earlier. They eliminated their athletic program, and it wasn't just the size that Erin Bath loves that she brings, but also the fact that she's a local product and her family is right in the backyard of Providence.
Yeah, it's always great when a kid can play at home, and especially now, a couple years there. Great opportunity as we see a wonderful dish there, once again by a Henderson for a layup. Comesaña gets hit in the face before and now actually gets rewarded with a basket on the other end.
She is able to brush it aside. It's going to be a 30, now extended to a full as Erin Bath wants to talk things over. Fliss Henderson orchestrating the break. Comesaña with the finish on the other end as the Lions have been dictating the tone of this game every which way you look, whether it be in the half court, whether it be in transition. That's another good litmus test for this team, Doug, because we saw the ebbs and flows of this game. Early on, it was Providence feeding it inside. Columbia picks up the pace, adjusted on Olsen. They have really evolved over the course of this game as we look at Columbia's upcoming schedule as another Big East team will arrive on Sunday in Villanova.
Yeah, really talented Villanova squad. They had finished off this 5-game homestand with Nova, Memphis, and Wagner before going out to the West Coast. So a chance for the Lions to play back-to-back teams in the Big East. Talented one in Villanova. Tickets available for the game on December 3rd against Nova, a team that was one of the top 10 in the country last year. Obviously, Maddie Segrist, one of the greatest players in Villanova history, went on to play in the WNBA. She's now back there, I believe, as a grad assistant or assistant coach in some capacity. So bringing her home, especially Coach Griffith there, came home to her alma mater and done a great job of getting Columbia to the next level the last few years.
Well, you never know when grad assistants have additional eligibility, Doug. So those labels could be short-lived, as, of course, Lauren Edwards, who's a grad assistant for Providence, now rejoining the team. And the crowd very much engaged here inside Levy Gymnasium on Education Day. Columbia has been so effective in this building, Doug. They're 3-1 at home. They're allowing 57 points per game. On the road, 0-3, giving up 80. Now, the caliber of the competition, Doug, needs to be taken into consideration, but they held Northeastern in the 40s, and again, a few days later, Providence has yet to get to 50 here.
Yeah, they just have good home cooking, so to speak. They do a great job. The energy's there. They're playing a good schedule at home. They lost to Duke, which obviously is a very, very good program historically, and an ACC school, a Power 5 school. So they're not playing a bunch of nobodies, so to speak, when they play home. It's a tough stretch. 2 Big East schools and a school from the American Athletic Conference in Memphis, and obviously the game today against Providence.
And as you mentioned, they were very much in the mix with Duke. That game came down to the wire. Blue Devils hit 2 late buckets. And that is the only blemish on the home resume. Olsen working on Comesaña, and she puts it in for points 14 and 15.
Olsen right at her average now, but again, the Lions did a really good job after the first couple minutes of containing her and making her life difficult. But she's got 15 points, shooting well, 6 of 12, 9 rebounds. But they're making every one of her baskets more difficult than obviously Providence would like.
And Riley Weiss, a ring around the rosy for her 3rd three and number 13 for the team.
Just a chance here for some of the bench players getting opportunity here to get some action and getting some offense and getting some scoring, which will help the Lions down the road, as Weiss has a really good potential for a bright future and present here for Columbia.
Raffu is able to bax out Bandoma. Columbia with 2 minutes to go. Kicks it out of the corner of Comesaña. Morales Romero with the rebound. Providence shooting just 18% from the field this quarter. They just have not been able to keep pace with Columbia's offense. In a game where they did cut down on the turnovers, nearly another one, Stevens could not save.
Yeah, those cross-court passes are something you really don't want to do often, because that's asking for steals, which leave it easy layups because there's no one back defensively.
Megan Griffin going to the bench. Comesaña out. And in for the first time is Blau Tor, freshman out of Spain, number 42, who you see on your screen. She had 5 minutes of play in the win over Northeastern. 2 on the shot clock for Providence. And Raffu is there for the rebound. Columbia's held the Friars to under 20 in every quarter as Bandoma holds off Weiss on the scoop attempt.
Good defensive effort there. Again, not quitting till this game's over, showing, hey, maybe I deserve a couple more minutes by playing hard in games. It not be that close right now, but a chance to show, hey, I'm playing hard till the final whistle.
We saw Archibald chase down on a transition opportunity to deny Kitty, and you see the same effort with Bandoma on Weiss. Fliss off the inbound. Working on Olsen. Back out to White. She's got 3 threes. It'll stay there. Raffu off the offensive glass. Has her pocket picked by Farrell. And we have a player shaken up on the opposite end of the action. I believe that is Nariah Scott. Nariah Scott is going to limp off with the assistance of head coach Aaron Bath, as well as the training staff. Not sure what happened away from the basketball, but the junior out of Massachusetts went down immediately away from the action.
Yeah, I think actually there was some contact off the ball screen, but it's good to see her get up under her own power, but perhaps being helped off the court, so hopefully she'll be okay from that injury.
So Lauren Edwards is going to come in, as well as Morales Romero and Ugne Sertoteta. As Olsen, Eddie, and Farrell will head to the bench in the final minute.
It's applying some full court pressure here. More dummy pressure just to show.
Good defensive hands by the Lions, flustering Providence out on the perimeter.
Yeah, another turnover, the 16th of the game for Providence. So under their average, but again, try to clean up a couple of these turnovers if they want to advance and get some wins down the road.
About a 20-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Here in the final minute, Weiss leaves it for Fliss. And another three! That is what you call sealing the deal. Fliss Henderson with trifecta number 14 and her first of the game. A 6-0 run for Columbia, a scoring drought of 2.5 minutes for Providence. That three ball no good for Sophie Hall. Bandoma on the ground, and she hands it off to Sertoteta, who draws the foul with 8 seconds to go.
Yeah, we see the Weiss kick out to Fliss Henderson for the open three. Everyone getting the action from way downtown this afternoon, Lance.
7 different Columbia players have made it through. It's almost as if the graphic department is listening to me. As Sertoteta puts in the free throw. She is 3 for 3 on the afternoon, and she will stay perfect. This is the 8th game for Columbia against the Big East school, and the Lions are going to improve their mark to 7-1 against this conference. Wins over